Russian President Vladimir Putin is hosting a gathering of world leaders for the BRICS Summit of Emerging Economies today. BRICS for those emerging economies. It comes amid Western sanctions and an international arrest warrant following Moscow's invasion of Ukraine in 2022.
China, Vladimir Putin said the two countries should work together to create what he called a just world order.
BRICS stands for Brazil, Russia, India, China and South Africa, BRICS. So the name is an acronym. In 2006, it started with 4 members. South Africa joined in 2010. And this year, 5 new members have joined. Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates. They've all joined BRICS this year. So now there's a total of 10 members, and there is potential for more.
Mr. Xi told Putin the world is undergoing profound changes unseen in a century and the international situation is chaotic and intertwined.
The world is undergoing profound changes unseen in a century and the international situation is becoming chaotic and intertwined. But I firmly believe that the profound friendship between China and Russia from generation to generation will not change.
Welcoming his professed dear friend Xi Jinping to the 16th annual BRICS Summit, Vladimir Putin said Moscow and Beijing would work towards creating global security.
Then the BRICS are certainly onto something, because not only are many BRICS member states talking about a different world economic order, but once they start talking about a different political and security order, we're onto something in many, many ways.
20 world leaders in total are descending on the Russian city of Kazan for the summit. It's seen by the Kremlin as sending the message that attempts by the West to isolate President Vladimir Putin over his invasion of Ukraine have failed. Moscow is touting this as the largest foreign policy event the country has ever hosted. The Russian president hopes to use the summit to convince members to adopt an alternative to the dollar for global payments.
In the face of Western sanctions, Russia has been trying to persuade its allies to adopt an alternative to the dollar for international payments. At a BRICS summit this week, Moscow is expected to try and convince a growing club of developing economy allies that it is immune from Western attempts to isolate it and call for other countries to join its attempt to overhaul the global financial system.
Russian authorities are keen to promote the idea of a unified BRICS financial system to rival the dominant US dollar.
BRICS is perceived as an alternative to the dollar system. It became the platform that offers some alternative ways of carrying out economic and financial transactions. Russia proposes to use some kind of new currency, which could allow national currencies to be converted into a new unit of payment. It will reportedly be electronic digital money.
Xi Jinping is going to walk alongside his buddy Vladimir Putin at this BRICS summit. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, Gordon, it seems to me that Joe Biden's done an excellent job of bringing our enemies together into this BRICS group. It worries me very much that you have India part of it, the UAE part of it. I guess my question to you is, A, are you concerned about the growing kind of inclusivity of the BRICS group? And also, what moves have they made? Is it a serious threat that they're trying to get these countries and other to use currencies other than the dollar? Where do you think that stands at this point?
Yeah, the BRICS wants a common currency. China has been pushing that. They're going to maybe make it gold back. But as everybody says, there's only one country that can dethrone the dollar, and that's us with the wild spending that the Biden administration has been authorizing. So clearly there's something needs to be done there.
The group accounts for 45% of the world's population and 35% of global economic output.
So Moscow's position is simple. It sees the BRICS as a way to oppose the West, a way to challenge the Western order. Then you have China. It wants to dethrone the West, position itself as a global leader. And what better way than this? A group that caters to the global South. So this is where Russia and China find common ground, an alliance against the West. That's what they want BRICS to be. But not everyone shares this vision, like India. India does not want to take an anti-Western stand.
It also lets him demonstrate that his message of reshaping the US-led global order does have appeal for other countries outside of Russia. Finally, I would note that this is a chance for Putin to have meetings with key partners that are sometimes hard to pull off because of his travel limitations, given the arrest warrant from the ICC against him.
The BRICS are very disparate. I don't think that they're a real challenge to the U.S. And by the way, India in the BRICS is actually preventing the BRICS from becoming a non-Western institution. India is not part of the West, but India doesn't want to be anti-Western. So as long as India is in the BRICS, we're going to be okay. If they turf India out, then the BRICS could actually be an important organization.
As of today, 30 countries expressed their desire to cooperate with BRICS in varying degrees, to join this organization's activity in this or that way. Here, together with other members of the organization, we have to think carefully how to treat the enlargement of BRICS. Certainly, we will not push anyone away. It is absolutely clear that our doors are open.
And with the Middle East settlement on this summit's agenda, Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas was also invited to Kazan. That invitation came directly from President Putin, who has reaffirmed Russia's support for a two-state solution to the conflict.
What we hear from the member countries, of course, that it is not an anti-Western bloc, but rather an alternative to the existing world order, an attempt to offer some other kind of organization to the world.
Добиться максимальной реализации экономического, инвестиционного, технологического и человеческого потенциалов наших стран. Укрепить конструктивное влияние БРИКС на мировые процессы. Сделать мир, в котором мы живем, более безопасным.
It is also not yet clear how many countries explicitly support an alternative to a dollar-based financial system.
The global order cannot be changed in one day, but it can certainly be challenged, one initiative at a time.
Among the most important topics on the agenda at the 2024 BRICS summit in the Russian city of Kazan are the further expansion of the group and the creation of a new payment system within its framework.
Prime Minister Modi was referring to the UAE, the newly minted member of BRICS. This year, UPI was introduced in Dubai. UPI stands for Unified Payment System. It is the backbone of digital payments in India. So far, the UPI has been rolled out in 7 countries, and this list is expected to grow in the coming months. Over 30 countries have shown interest in adopting this Indian system. So should the BRICS consider using it too? Well, the idea is appealing, but not without its own set of challenges.
BRICS nations represent 45% of the world's population. Mr. Putin says talks have been constructive.
The discussions once again demonstrated that the states of the association share the universal values of peace, justice and equality and work together for the prosperity and well-being of our countries and peoples. The BRICS states stand in solidarity for the intensification of cooperation on the world stage based on the key principles of the Charter of the United Nations. Together, they strive to contribute in every possible way to the formation of just a multipolar world order.
This is The Economist magazine, owned by the Rothschild and Agnelli banking family. The cover is from 2019. In it, tattoos with a DNA symbol can be seen, a mobile phone with a QR code, facial recognition symbols, stalks with children marked with a barcode. One of the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse is masked. And finally, the image of a pangolin.
Moi, je savais pas ce que c'était qu'un pangolin en janvier 2019.
Look at things like artificial intelligence.
Exactly.
And robots. Look at things like gene editing.
Exactly.
You know, opening a whole new horizon for medical science.
And you see, the difference of this fourth industrial revolution is it doesn't change what you are doing. It changes you. If you take genetic editing,
right.
Just as an example, it's you who are changed.
Yeah.
And of course, this has a big impact on your identity.
Yeah. And offers certain kinds of possibilities that have to be careful about. You know, when you began to do that kind of gene editing, some people worry that you are changing what it means to be human.
That's the problem. And of course, the new industrial revolution offers us many opportunities, but it raises manifold questions on the ethical, but even legal implications, and we have to be prepared for it.
So I want to talk to you today about the future of our species, and really the future of life. We are probably one of the last generations of Homo sapiens. Within a century or two, Earth will be dominated by entities that are more different from us than we are different from Neanderthals or from chimpanzees. Because in the coming generations, we will learn how to engineer bodies and brains and minds. These will be the main products of the economy, of the 21st century economy. Not textiles and vehicles and weapons, but bodies and brains and minds. Now, how exactly will the future masters of the planet look like? This will be decided by the people who own the data. Those who control the data control the future not just of humanity, but the future of life itself. Because today, data is the most important asset in the world. Now, why is data so important? It's important because we've reached the point when we can hack not just computers, we can hack human beings and other organisms. There is a lot of talk these days about hacking computers and email accounts and bank accounts and mobile phones, but actually we are gaining the ability to hack human beings. Biological knowledge multiplied by computing power, multiplied by data, equals the ability to hack humans.
The human race is at a critical point.
Al final, de lo que se trata es de